The other day, I received a very cute message on my Insta handle, which is Communicate 101. It was so hilarious that I actually asked this person if I could share it on my podcast. So, with her permission, I'm reading it out to you word for word. Hear me out. Hey Sarika, I'm a graphic designer who's looking for a full time job. I can design well, but giving an interview isn't my cup of tea or coffee or whatever you drink. I can talk to people. No. I can talk to the computer. Yes. So, in my last interview, a job which I obviously didn't get, I walked into the interview room and immediately my heart started racing as if I was about to run a marathon. I mean, I could really feel the adrenaline kick in. My body was saying, run, Kadambari, run, catch the next bus. And my hands, they were shaking like a dead, dry leaf in the wind. My brain was taking all bazooka firings, pumping out cortisol. Meanwhile, my mouth was drier than the Kalahari desert. I couldn't speak at all. I behaved like a dumb, dull candidate who obviously wasn't needed. Are you sympathizing with me? Well, then please give me some tips for interview training, and do you also train personally? Kindly, Kadambari. First of all, Kadambari, this was an amusing second to second narrative, and I must say that the company lost a great storyteller apart from a great, obviously, graphic designer. While I sympathize with their loss, I'm also thankful to you for trusting me. This episode today is dedicated to you and everyone else who dreads interview, who's looking for a smart solution to ace any interview. However, by the time it is released, I hope and trust I would have trained you well and you would be in a great job at a great company after a stellar interview. So, for all of you out there who dread interviews and who think, what if I'm asked a question I don't know? What if they don't like me? What if I freeze? What if I don't answer a question that I know? What if this? What if that? We'll answer all your what if questions in this episode and prepare you to ace that interview right here, right now. Answering the second part that Kadambari's asked for, do I train personally? Yes, I do. Teams and individuals both. You can visit communicate101.com to know more. Hello, hello, and welcome to another exciting episode of Communicate 101 Speaking Writing Tips, your go-to podcast for all things communication. I'm your host Sarika Singh, and today I've got your back. I certainly have. I'm going to help you crush your communication goals in your next big interview. I'll share the three-pronged approach, the 3 steps, mandatory steps, powerful steps that you need to follow, and you need to follow them on the dot. They will definitely make you the right candidate for the spot. I will tell what to say and what not, tips, examples, strategies. There's a lot. Wow, that was a cool rhyme, wasn't it? Quick heads up, I share lots of such valuable tips on my Insta handle, Communicate 101. So make sure you follow me if you're looking to level up your communication skills. No need to sign up for fancy courses, fancy classes, webinars. Just follow this podcast. Follow my Insta page, Communicate 101. After all, your win is my win. Ready? Let's jump in. For most of us, when we go for an interview, when we're giving an interview, the body goes into an overdrive. The brain triggers a rush of adrenaline, activating the fight or flight response. Your heart's pumping faster, the blood pressure rises, your palm might say, I'm sweaty, hello nervousness. Your breathing gets shallow as your body prepares for action. And on the flip side, your brain, it releases dopamine, the feel-good hormone. When you nail a question, giving you the confidence boost, there's so much commotion happening. All this happens in a matter of seconds. So while your body is on a high alert, your mind is scrambling to stay calm and composed. Talk about a roller coaster. We've all been there, right? You've spent hours perfecting your resume. Your LinkedIn profile is polished and you've chosen the outfit that screams, I'm ready to take on the world. But the moment you walk into that interview room, You feel like your brain has been replaced by cotton wool. Sound familiar? You know you're qualified, but the nerves are making you second guess everything. Don't worry, we've all had those interview jitters. But here's the good news today. I'm going to share 3 super simple steps that'll help you ace any interview. No matter the size, no matter the company, whether a startup in Bengaluru or a corporate giant in downtown LA. These steps will work. Let's kick things off with step number 1. I call it the deadly 10. It's not a list of 10 things. Don't worry. And this 10 is the first 10 seconds. The first 10 seconds are absolutely crucial. Meet Amit. He's a bright candidate with a stellar resume. He's ready for his interview at a tech company in Pune. He's prepared well. The minute he walks into the room, he freezes, forgets everything. He barely makes eye contact and nervously says, "Hello, sir." The interviewer gives him a lukewarm handshake and the whole vibe goes downhill from there. If only Amit had focused on the first 10 seconds, he could have walked away with confidence. If he walked in with his head high, gave a firm handshake and offered a warm, "Good morning, sir. It's a pleasure to meet you," those simple actions would have immediately conveyed, "I'm confident and I'm excited to be here." It is the first 10 seconds, before the first 10 seconds actually, 7 to 10 seconds, that people form their first impressions about you. You have to watch every microsecond out of those 10 seconds. So, in those deadly 10, what you need to do is, you need to set the tone. So walk in with your head held high and a purposeful stride. You want to appear confident, not rushed, not uncertain. You greet with a warm smile that shows warmth, approachability, instantly making you look like a friendly, open person. Sometimes there are chances that you have a chance for a handshake, sometimes you don't. But if you have a chance to handshake, make sure it's firm, not crushing. The key is that you show your confidence, your professionalism. Do you look at them in the eye? Of course you do. It's a sign of respect. It shows you're engaged. And when you introduce yourself, say something like, "Good morning, it's nice to meet you," in an upbeat, positive tone. Not, "Good morning, it's nice to meet you." Set a friendly, enthusiastic tone to the rest of your interview. These first few seconds are absolutely deadly, absolutely critical. Believe you me, take this tip to heart. Practice your first 10 seconds. How are you going to spend your first 10 seconds of the interview? Practice that at home, wherever you can practice. Practice it 10 times, 20 times, 30 times, 100 times, but practice it. Your body language speaks volumes. Walk in like you've got a secret, and trust me, people will listen. Now, after covering step number 1, which is your 10 deadly seconds, you need to move on to step number 2. Before that happens, there's one thing that I would want everyone who's going for an interview to understand. If they've called you for an interview, means they like you as a candidate. You have the required qualifications that they're looking for. The only thing they want to check, the only thing an interviewer actually wants to check is, when he meets you in person during an interview, whether you fit well into their company, whether you fit well into the role. So they have to hear your story in your words. They want to hear what and how good you are, what a star you are in your own words, in your own narration, not some AI narration. So the trick is not to give a mugged up, a rote-learned dry answer. But you have to craft your response in a way that it connects the dots between your experience and the job you're applying for. And for that, your story needs to be designed by a special method, the STAR method. STAR, STAR method. I know what you're thinking, Sarika, what in the world is a STAR method? I'm going to explain that with an example. So STAR stands for situation, task, action and result. Let me introduce you to Saisha. Now Saisha is a project management candidate from Bangalore or Bengaluru. She was applying for a project management role at a major FMCG company. So there was an interview question. The interviewer asked her, "Tell me about a time you had to manage a team through a tough project." If Saisha was not prepared according to the STAR project, her answer would have been something like, "I led a project and managed a team." What a disaster. But Saisha was trained on the STAR method and her response was very specific. She made sure her response specifically mentioned the situation she was in, the task she was supposed to do, the action she took, and the result of that project. So her response was, "In my previous role as a senior manager at ABC company, I was tasked with leading a team to launch a new product in under 3 months. We had multiple departments involved, marketing, logistics, sales, and I ensured we communicated every step of the way. We organized weekly updates, troubleshooted on the go, and as a result, we launched the product on time and the product exceeded its sales target by 25% in the first quarter." This was a brilliant response, specific response. She mentioned the situation, the task she was assigned, what action she took, and what was the result. Don't you think this response was extremely engaging, extremely convincing? Saisha didn't just tell the interviewer that she led a team. She told a story. She painted a picture of her leadership skills, her problem-solving abilities, and the tangible results she achieved. That's the storytelling magic. It's a short story with a simple structure, and that structure is called the STAR method: situation, task, action, and result. So when you're going for an interview, make sure you prepare a mini narrative about you in different situations that you anticipate the interviewer could ask you. Typically, in any interview, you're going to be asked questions related to the skills that you mentioned. Whatever you mentioned on your maybe profile or on your CV or whatever the role requires, those skills. It could be problem solving, critical thinking, communication skills, but prepare mini narratives using the STAR method. Ideally, you should have a lot of them ready and prepared in advance, but in case you don't have something prepared in advance, make sure that when you answer that question, impromptu, your answer is with the STAR method. If you can't immediately come to think of a story that would justify the answer, there's no harm asking the interviewer for a moment. You think, you pause, and then answer. Don't take forever, but a short pause, a thinking pause, only speaks good about you. Now, full disclosure, I didn't get it right the first time in my first interview. I gave such a boring answer when they asked me about my leadership experience. The only leadership I could think of was house captain in school or chief editor for the college magazine. And very boringly, I said something like, "I've been an editor-in-chief in college magazine for 2 years. Oh boy, there were no mobile phones at that time. But today when I think about it, I can almost visualize the interviewer checking his phone. Don't make the mistakes I did. Learn from my mistakes. Make your answers shine with the STAR technique and you will have their attention, their full attention. So summing up, the first 2 steps to ace any interview. Number 1, use those first 10 seconds, those critical 10 seconds extremely wisely. And number 2, prepare your mini narratives, your mini stories using the STAR method. If you or your team need more training on any of these, you'll find the link in the bio. You can go on to communicate101.com whenever you want. You can approach me directly for this. I can't wait to share the third step, a very, very crucial step that's not only showcasing the first impression is not the last impression, but also a great chance to make a lasting impact on your interviewer. Sharing it in the next leg. The third step is a game changer. Let me tell you about Vikram. He was interviewing for a sales role at a big retail company in Delhi. And he nailed the interview with his answers. He also made sure he made a great first impression on the panel of experts interviewing him, and they were almost sure, oh, he's the right guy. What he did at the last moment changed the game. Vikram did not get the job. Why? Let's find out. Vikram's interview was almost over. As he was leaving, one of the interviewers asked him, "Do you have any questions?" He hadn't thought about this. He didn't really have any questions. And especially right now, he was too excited. He was almost getting the job. Because after all, he'd had such a great interview. So he actually forgot about any questions which he otherwise would have had. Instead of thinking and then asking, being very silly, Vikram said, "What's the salary and what are the working hours?" There's nothing wrong about this question. But anything, believe you me, anything and everything that you say in an interview talks about you. The interviewers have the right to judge you for it. They wanted to know what insightful questions Vikram had to ask. They found him too casual, too basic, too money-minded. And that gave them too many reasons to reject his application. Instead, they found somebody else who made a great first impression, used his first 10 seconds wisely, was great at storytelling, and also asked very insightful questions at the end of the interview. Do you know what questions the other person asked? He said, "Yes, I would like to know what is the most challenging aspect of this role and how does the team support one another in overcoming those challenges?" He also asked, "I also wanted to ask, if you were to reject me in this interview, what is the one thing that I did wrong or that I could have done better?" The interviewers were so impressed. He didn't just show that he was interested in the job, he showed that he was thinking ahead about how he could fit into the team and contribute. He was also willing to learn and improvise. And let's face it, everyone loves candidates who think long term and who are malleable, who are flexible. I know this guy may sound a little counterintuitive, but you're in an interview, you're supposed to answer questions and also ask intelligent questions. Trust me, when you ask the right questions, it shows. It shows you're proactive, you're engaged, you're truly interested in the role. So indeed, the third step is to ask insightful questions. Whenever you're asked to ask a question at an interview, be sure you've done enough research to ask very intelligent, very insightful question. I'm not suggesting Vikram's questions were the best questions or these are some 10 best question list to ask at the end of the interview. Make sure that the questions you ask are actually something that you really want to ask. The questions showcase something about you. This is your chance to tell about some other skill that you have. So there you have it, 3 simple steps to ace any interview. On the first 10 seconds, tell your story using the STAR method. And last but not the least, ask insightful questions, simple but powerful. Remember, interviews aren't just about answering questions. They're your moments to shine. They're your chance to show that not just your skills, but your personality, your enthusiasm is perfect fit for the role. With these steps, you're ready to impress. If you found today's episode helpful, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss an episode of India's top communication skills podcast, Communicate 101 Speaking Writing Tips. And if you've got an interview coming up, I wish you all the very best. Go out and show them that you are the star that you always were. Make sure you remember using the STAR method whenever you say something. If these steps helped you nail an interview, or you just love these strategies to plan how to pitch yourself, I'd love it if you would tag me in your Insta stories. My Insta handle is Communicate101. If you or your team needs any help acing interviews or mastering any other communication challenges, the link is in the bio. Thanks for tuning in today. Stay confident, stay prepared, and good luck for that interview. Catch you next time. Thank you for listening to this episode of Communicate 101 Speaking Writing Tips with Sarika Singh. If you want to be notified of upcoming episodes, be sure to hit the subscribe button and follow the podcast. I'll be back to share more stories, more life experiences, and more communication tips every Friday. If you want to reach me or connect with me, just put your comments in the comment box below or mail me at info@sarikasingh.in. I know you're going to rate and review this podcast, so a big thank you in advance. Stay tuned and think about what we talked today.